Hello everyone, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Agnes. Welcome to the channel for those of you who are new. In today's tutorial we are going to be making this top. It's meshy at the bottom. I used mercerised cotton yarn which has this silky feeling that I love. It's stretchy, so that's why it fits well. And yeah, I have a tutorial on the skirt. If I will leave the link in the comment section and the description box. For the top I used 1¼ skein of yarn. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. So you need a tape measure. As I said earlier, I used mercerised yarn. This is from Zeman. It was $2.99 and it recommends a 2 to 2.5 millimeter hook. It's 100 grams, 250 meters. So yeah, I used 1¼ of this. Yeah, and it's cotton. So yeah, that's it. So let's start. For the hook, sorry, the hook I used 2.0 millimeter hook. You can use a 2.5 if you wish. So we start from this long side where the next to the armpit, and we're going to make a slip knot, and you will make a chain as long as how you want the top to be before you put the mesh. Okay, so I'm going to chain 6 inches for myself, but as you can see in my pictures, you can somehow see my bra at the bottom. So if you want, you can make it longer, so that maybe 8 inches if you wish, but I will do 6. All right, so I have my 6 inches, and we'll be working from one side to the other side and then across. So you will need your bust measurements. Divide by 2, subtract 2 inches. Okay, so for the first row I'm going to chain 3, yarn over, and skip 2 stitches. Into the 3rd stitch, make a double crochet. So we are using double crochets for this part of the top. So make a double crochet, go into your next chain, make a double crochet. We are working from one side of the top to the other side. So here we're working the front part of the bust. Okay, front part of the bust from one side of the armpit to the other side of the armpit on the front side. So do double crochets until the end of this row. So I'm at the end of the row, and this is how it looks, right? So for row 2 you're going to chain 3, and we're going to start decreasing. As you can see, my top, it comes from the under the shoulder and then decreases as you go towards the center of the bust. So you're going to make a double crochet in that very first stitch, and we will make a decrease now. So we'll be combining these 2 stitches. So make a double crochet that is incomplete, go into the 3rd stitch, make a double crochet that is incomplete. You now have 3 loops, and then pull through all. So we made a decrease there, and now you're going to go on with 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end of the row. And we are only going to be decreasing on one side. So this side is where we'll be decreasing, and at the end of this other side you will not decrease. So get to the end of the row, then do row 3, and once you have 3 stitches left here, I will meet you to make another decrease. Okay, I'll meet you here. All right, so I'm done. I'm at the end of row 3, and now I have 3 stitches left. I need to make my decrease in these 2 stitches. Okay, and then we'll have a double crochet at the end. So make a decrease in these 2 stitches by inserting your hook, and make an incomplete double crochet. Then go into the next stitch, make an incomplete double crochet like that, and then complete it. And then we made our decrease, and now the last stitch is going to be one double crochet. So that's row 3. So for row 4 we are going to chain 3, turn our work, make a double crochet, and now since we're on the decreasing side, then now the next stitches will be a decrease. Yep, So we make a decrease on these 2 stitches, and yeah, that's it. And now we go with one double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end. So I'm going, my bust measurements are 30 divided by 2 is 15 inches. So 15 inches, what you have, that half of your bust measurements, subtract 2 inches, so that means I am remaining with 13 inches. And those 13 inches, I'm going to divide it into 3. So I have this middle part, which is 4 inches. That is an undecreasing one, 4 inches, and then 4.5 here and on this side, and 4.5 on this side. Okay, so the middle one, for all measurements, for you all, you'll keep it 4 inches, and the rest will be from the measurements you have. So take your bust measurements, divide by 2, what you get, subtract 2 inches, and then subtract 4, then divide into 2. That will be your side of increasing and decreasing, and then the middle one will be 4 inches. Okay, so I went and did my 4.5 inches of decreasing, 4.5 inches. That was from the 9 that I had remaining after I subtracted 4, then divide by 2, so that's 4.5. And then I went ahead and did my 4 inches of no decrease, so that's where it gets to 8.5. Now I need to do 4.5 so that I have a total of 14. So now we'll start increasing again for a total number of 4.5. So you don't need to measure 4.5 just to the same number of rows like you did on the other side where you were decreasing. So now we do the same number of rows while increasing. Okay, so I had my bust measurements are 30, divide by 2, 15, minus 2, 13, 13 minus 4, which is the middle part, that is a 9 remaining, then divide by 2, 4.5. So I hope you get the measurements. Now we are going to start increasing, and I will increase for the same number of rows. So this first one will just insert a double crochet, and then the second stitch is where we'll make an increase. So I'll make 1 double crochet in there, and in the same stitch I'll insert another double crochet. So now we have 2 double crochets in that stitch, then now 1 double crochet in the rest of the stitches. So 1 double crochet in every stitch until you get to the end. Once you get to the end, chain 3, turn your work double crochets in every stitch until you have 2 stitches left, and in your second last stitch make an increase, and then end the row with a double crochet, and then chain 3, turn your work, make a double crochet, and then make an increase like that. So you're going to increase the same number of rows as you did here where we did the decrease. It will go up like that, and I had 12 on this side, so I'll go ahead and make 12 rows on the other side until I have the same number of stitches I started with. Okay, alright, so this is how it looks. I went ahead excuse me, I went ahead and did the back part, but I'll show you how I did that. So this is my 13 inches. Okay, my 13 inches are complete, and in the middle here I had 4 inches where I had the non-decrease. Okay, I had 4 inches, then 4.5 and 4.5, making a total of 13 inches. Okay, so do the same, and I went ahead and did the back part, but for the back part there's no increase, no decrease, so I just 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I did a total number of 35 rows for the front. So for the back, I simply did slip stitches in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I did slip stitches in 20 stitches, and then the remainder of the stitches at the bottom I did just the same number of stitches. For the rows I did 20 rows, so 25. So I got my number of rows that I had in the front, subtract 10. But this is because my yarn is very stretchy. So if you're using any other different type of yarn, acrylic yarn that is not so stretchy, I advise you to do the same number of rows as the front ones. Is that clear? And also for the 20 stitches I left at the top, if you wanted more coverage, you can maybe only subtract 10 if you wish, so that is totally up to you. Alright, so once you have your rows at the back, there's no decrease, there's no increase, we'll just attach it to the other side of the top. So for me, I did 25 rows at the back while the front had 35, but this is because my yarn is very stretchy, so I can put it on easily. But if you're using a different type of yarn that is not stretchy, then I advise that you also do the same number of rows that you did at the front, or maybe subtract just like 3 or 4 rows, you know, so that it is not so tight on you to wear, as in it will be, it's not a problem to put on. So we are going to join this front and back using a slip stitch in every stitch. So we are slip stitching to join these two parts together. Just like this, using a slip stitch until you get to the end here, and I'll meet you there. Alright, so this is how it looked. Yeah, I'm done, and I went ahead with slip stitches all the way to the top and then made this strap. Okay, but I'm going to show you how I made this strap on the other side. It's identical, so I'll be making in these 2 rows. So I'll get my yarn, reattach it, and I'm going to make 5 single crochets. I have 5 single crochets. I worked in 2 rows. You can make it wider if you wish, so I'll chain 3, turn my work, because we're going to now work with double crochet. So in this very first stitch, I'll make a double crochet, go into my next stitch, make a double crochet, and my next stitch is going to be a chain. So chain 1, skip 1, and make 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. That's row 1. Row 2, chain 3, turn your work, make a double crochet in the first stitch, a double crochet in the second stitch, chain 1, skip chain, and then 2 double crochets in the last 2 stitches. And you're going to repeat this. This is basically the pattern for this, until you have enough to cover from right under your armpit to the back of your top. I'll come and tell you how many stitches and inches I did. So I did 28 rows, an equivalent of 11 inches. So I'll go ahead and do that. This was the measurements for that other one, 28 rows, 11 inches, and then will come put them together. All right, so what I did is counted my back stitches, right, which was 25, and then counted 10 on one side, and then I'll insert this in the 11th and 12th stitches, and then leave one in the middle and the same on the other side. So it's in row 11 and 12, right, because I had 25, and then there's one middle one, and the other side is also in row 11 and 12. So just make sure we are working on the wrong side here. We'll join this on the wrong side, and we'll be using these two rows here. So I'll insert my hook in there and then pull through the yarn, go into the next stitch and make a slip stitch, slip stitch, and slip stitch. Excuse me. Just slip stitch all the way through just to make it secure. Chain one, and I will cut off the yarn. Then you go ahead and do the other strap, also the same. Just leave one in the middle, one row in the middle, and yeah, once you're done, then we'll come and do the bottom. So this is how it looks so far. All right, finish up and then we do the bottom. So I'm done, and we're going to start the bottom, and this we're going to work from one side. So I'll just reattach my yarn and then chain 2 and then work a double crochet, next double crochet. So I'm going to be working double crochets, 2 double crochets and then a chain, and it is 2 double crochets in every row. So I will skip here where I was supposed to put a stitch and then insert a double crochet here, and this is my next double crochet, chain 1, skip this where I was supposed to put a stitch here, and then go straight up here, make a stitch, a double crochet, and make a second double crochet in here in the middle of the row, and then chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then skip this stitch, and into the next stitch make a double crochet, make a second double crochet into this stitch right here, and then chain 1, then skip the next stitch, which is this, into the next one, make a double crochet, make a second double crochet in there, chain 1 and skip the next stitch, which is this. So go into the next one, make a double crochet, next stitch, make a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then make a double crochet in the next one. So basically this is how it's going to be: 2 double crochets and then a chain, 2 double crochets and then a chain, 2 double crochets and then a chain. Okay, so normally I put my stitches in the double crochet and at the top of the double crochet, in the double crochet and at the top of the double crochet. So when I say skip the next stitch, then I mean, you know, you will see which one it is. All right, so I go to the end of the row and I have a chain 1, so I'll skip this stitch, and on top of the first double crochet, on top of the chain 2, I will make my slip stitch, and then we'll now go to the next row. So chain 3, make a double crochet, make a second double crochet. So now it is easy. So chain 1, skip the chain below and go on top of the next 2 double crochets and make 2 double crochets. chain 1, skip and make 2 double crochets on the next, on top of the next 2 double crochets, as simple as that. And you are going to repeat this pattern until you get to the height that you want, the length that you want, and I'll see you once you have your length. I want mine to be short, a crop top, so I will not make so many rows, but I'll see you once I am done with the rows that I want. So I'm done. I did a total number of 7 rows, and at the bottom I did a row of single crochets. So once you're done with your rows, then do a row of single crochets in every stitch all around, and yeah, then cut off your excess yarn. Once you're done with a single crochet row, cut off your excess yarn, and you will be done with the top basically. So this is how it looks when I cut everything off. Yeah, I like it. I like this mesh part so much. I think I'll do more outfits with this stitch. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to 100 subscribers. Bye. See you in the next tutorial, guys. Bye.